Okay, so are you ready to embark on a journey into a world of ancient wisdom and hidden meanings? Today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of Kabbalah.
And you're diving in with a really fantastic guide, Kabbalah para todos, or in English, Kabbalah for everyone. It makes this really intricate system of thought surprisingly approachable.
This book is our roadmap for today. Yeah, it promises to unpack not just the history of Kabbalah, but also how it can help us understand ourselves and also the universe around us.
What's intriguing about Kabbalah is that it's not just a set of beliefs. It's more like a lens through which to view the world, a way of uncovering hidden connections and deeper meanings.
So it's not about memorizing facts or following rituals.
Not exactly. It's more about engaging in a process of discovery. It's like a quest for understanding that involves both the head and the heart.
That sounds like a tall order. Where do we even begin with all that?
Well, the book starts by talking about the human desire for knowledge. You know, that innate curiosity that we have to understand the hidden truths of existence.
It's like we're hardwired to seek meaning, to look beyond the surface of things and try to grasp the bigger picture.
And that's where Kabbalah comes in. It arises from this very human quest. And it offers a unique Jewish perspective on the divine, on humanity, and on the interconnectedness of everything.
Okay, so it's about connecting the dots, seeing the patterns that link everything together.
Precisely. And one of the key ways that Kabbalah helps us do this is through symbols. The book emphasizes that humans are symbolic animals. We're constantly seeking meaning through symbols.
I mean, we see symbols everywhere, right? From religious icons to everyday objects, they seem to hold a power to connect us to something beyond ourselves.
And Kabbalah understands this very deeply. And it uses symbols to bridge the gap between the finite and the infinite, the earthly and the divine.
So it's not just about interpreting symbols. It's about understanding how they work, how they function as bridges to a deeper reality.
Exactly. And this symbolic thinking is key to understanding the messianic concept in Kabbalah.
Okay, now you're really piquing my interest. The Messiah, that's a concept with a lot of different interpretations. How does Kabbalah approach it?
It's not about passively waiting for a savior figure to come and rescue us. It's about understanding humanity's role in actively participating in the unfolding of a greater purpose.
So we're not just bystanders. We have a part to play in bringing about a messianic age.
That's the idea. We're not just meant to sit on sidelines. We're meant to engage with the world, to use our gifts and talents, to create positive change and bring more light into the world.
This reminds me of the concept of tikkun olam, the idea of repairing the world. Is that connected to the messianic idea in Kabbalah?
Absolutely. Tikkun olam is a central concept in Jewish thought, and it takes on a special dimension in Kabbalah. It's about recognizing that the world isn't perfect. There's brokenness and suffering, and we have a responsibility to participate in its healing.
So it's not about waiting for someone else to come and fix things. It's about rolling up our sleeves and getting involved in the process of repair.
Precisely. And this connects to that idea of us being a bridge between heaven and earth. We have the potential to bring the divine qualities of love, compassion, and justice into the world through our actions.
That's an empowering message. It's a call to action, to step up and make a difference. But how does this all connect back to the Torah, the Bible? Because I know that's a central text in Kabbalah.
Well, Kabbalah offers a really fascinating way of reading the Bible, encouraging us to go beyond the literal, to uncover deeper layers of meaning hidden within its words and stories.
So it's not just about understanding the historical context or the surface level of the text.
Not at all. It's about uncovering those hidden connections, those symbolic resonances that reveal deeper truths about ourselves, the universe, and our relationship with the divine.
It sounds like it requires a whole different approach to reading and interpretation.
That's right. The book mentions two main approaches to interpreting the Torah: Peshat and Drash.
Okay, let's break those down. What's Peshat?
Peshat is the literal interpretation, focusing on the plain meaning of the text. It's about understanding the historical context, the grammar, and the basic narrative.
That sounds like a good starting point. But what about Drash?
Drash is where things get really interesting. It's about uncovering the deeper allegorical meanings, exploring the hidden connections between words, concepts, and events.
So it's about reading between the lines, seeing the symbolism and the metaphors that point to a deeper reality.
Exactly. And both approaches are important for a comprehensive understanding of the Torah. It's like viewing a diamond from different angles, each perspective revealing a unique facet of its beauty.
This is making me think about how Kabbalah approaches the Hebrew alphabet. It's not just a set of letters for communication, right?
You're right. Kabbalists see the Hebrew alphabet as infused with divine energy and meaning. Each letter is like a building block of creation, a vibration that resonates with the essence of the universe.
So it's like a sacred language, a code that unlocks the mysteries of creation.
You could say that. And one of the key ways that Kabbalists explore this is through the practice of gematria.
Gematria. I've heard that term before, but I'm not sure I fully understand it. What is gematria?
So gematria is the practice of assigning numerical values to letters, which allows you to explore the relationships between words and concepts in a whole new way.
It sounds like a mathematical approach to spirituality.
You could say that. It's about uncovering the hidden patterns and connections that exist within language itself.
Can you give me an example of how gematria works?
Well, the book highlights the word ADM, formed by the first letters of Adam, David, and Messiah.
Okay, Adam, David, and the Messiah. What does gematria reveal about that combination of letters?
It suggests a lineage, a connection between these three figures that spans generations, and speaks to the unfolding of a greater purpose in history.
It's like they're linked by a shared destiny, a thread that runs through time.
Exactly. And gematria helps us uncover those hidden connections, those threads of meaning that weave together the tapestry of existence.
Wow, that's pretty mind-blowing. So we have this idea of the Hebrew alphabet as a sacred language, and then the book talks about the Talmud. How does that fit into the picture?
So the Talmud is a vast collection of Jewish oral and written law. That provides a framework for understanding the Torah. It's a central text in Jewish tradition, and it played a key role in the development of Kabbalah.
So it's like a companion piece to the Torah, providing context and interpretation.
You could say that. The Talmud is a treasure trove of stories, debates, and legal interpretations that shed light on the deeper meaning of the Torah.
And it also emphasizes the importance of dialogue and debate in the search for truth.
Right. The Talmud isn't a book of fixed answers. It's a record of an ongoing conversation, a process of questioning, exploring, and refining understanding that has been going on for centuries.
It sounds like a living, breathing document that continues to evolve and reveal new insights.
Exactly, and that's a key takeaway from Kabbalah. Knowledge is a dynamic process. It's like a journey of discovery that never truly ends.
This reminds me of the two rabbis mentioned earlier, Rabbi Akiva and Rabbi Ishmael. The book says they represent contrasting approaches to interpreting the Torah.
They're fascinating figures who embody two fundamental approaches to understanding the Torah. Akiva, the idealist, emphasizes those symbolic and hidden meanings, the drash approach we talked about.
So he's looking for those deeper layers of meaning, the allegorical interpretations.
Exactly. While Ishmael, the realist, prioritizes a more logical and literal understanding, the Peshat approach.
It's like they represent two sides of the same coin, both essential for a complete picture.
And their contrasting viewpoints remind us that there are multiple pathways to truth. Embracing different perspectives can only enhance our understanding.
That's a valuable lesson, especially in today's world, where it's easy to get stuck in our own perspectives.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things I find so compelling about Kabbalah. It encourages us to expand our minds and hearts, to encompass a wider range of possibilities, to embrace the mystery and complexity of existence.
It sounds like an antidote to the oversimplification that we often see in the world today.
And this openness to different perspectives is reflected in how Kabbalah approaches the very nature of knowledge. It's not just about accumulating facts. It's about experiencing truth. It's about those aha moments that transform our understanding.
So it's not just head knowledge. It's about engaging the heart and the intuition as well.
Exactly. And this emphasis on experience ties back to the origins of Kabbalah. The word itself means reception, implying an active engagement with knowledge, a transmission of wisdom from generation to generation.
It's like a torch being passed down, a living tradition that's constantly evolving and adapting.
That's a beautiful image.
Yes.
And it highlights the dynamic nature of Kabbalah. It's not a static system of beliefs, but a living tradition that continues to unfold and reveal new insights.
So it's not about memorizing a set of doctrines or following a rigid set of rules.
Not at all. It's about embarking on a journey of discovery, about allowing the wisdom of Kabbalah to illuminate our path and guide us toward a deeper understanding of ourselves and the universe.
Okay, I have to admit, my mind is already buzzing with all of this, and we've only just begun to scratch the surface. But before we go too far, I want to take a step back and talk about the historical journey of Kabbalah. Where did it all begin?
Well, according to tradition, the seeds of Kabbalah were sown way back in the time of Moses. It's believed that he received this mystical wisdom directly from God along with the Torah.
Wow, so we're talking about ancient wisdom passed down through generations.
That's right. But Kabbalah wasn't a static system. It continued to evolve and develop over centuries in different centers of Jewish learning.
Can you give me some examples of where Kabbalah flourished?
Provence and Spain were particularly important hubs for the development of Kabbalistic thought during the Middle Ages.
This is giving me a mental image of scholars huddled over ancient texts, debating, arguing, and piecing together this intricate puzzle of wisdom.
It's a vivid image, and likely not far from the truth. And one of the key figures in this historical development was Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. He's considered the father of Kabbalah, credited with writing the Zohar, one of the most important texts in this tradition.
The Zohar. I've heard of it, but to be honest, I don't know much about it. What's so special about the Zohar?
The Zohar is a complex and enigmatic work, rich in symbolism and allegory. It's essentially a mystical commentary on the Torah, offering profound insights into the nature of God, creation, and the soul.
So it's like a key that unlocks the hidden meanings of the Torah.
You could say that, and it's been a source of inspiration and debate for centuries.
It sounds like a must-read for anyone who wants to delve deeper into Kabbalah.
It definitely is. And the Zohar is just one example of the rich and diverse body of literature that has emerged from the Kabbalistic tradition over the centuries.
This is making me realize just how much depth and complexity there is to Kabbalah. It's not just a simple set of beliefs, it's a whole worldview, a way of understanding the universe and our place within it.
You're absolutely right, and that's what makes it so fascinating and endlessly rewarding to explore. It challenges us to expand our minds, to question our assumptions, and to delve deeper into the mysteries of existence.
It sounds like a lifelong journey of discovery.
It is, and it's a journey that's open to everyone. That's the beauty of Kabbalah. It's a wisdom tradition that invites us all to participate in the unfolding of truth and meaning.
And what's especially interesting to me is how Kabbalah seems to blend the mystical and the practical. It's not just about abstract concepts. It's about how those concepts can inform our daily lives and our interactions with the world.
That's a great observation.
Yeah.
And one of the key ways that Kabbalah bridges that gap between the mystical and the practical is through its emphasis on love.
Love. How does love fit into the framework of Kabbalah?
Love is seen as a unifying force,
Love.
a fundamental principle that connects us to God and to each other. It's not just an emotion. It's a cosmic energy that binds the universe together.
So it's not just about romantic love. It's about something much bigger and more profound.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the inherent interconnectedness of everything, the web of relationships that extends throughout creation.
And how is this idea of love reflected in Kabbalistic teachings?
Well, the book highlights the fact that the Hebrew words for man and woman share the same root letter. This points to the inherent unity of the masculine and feminine principles, the idea that they are two sides of the same coin, essential for balance and completion.
It's a beautiful reminder that we need each other, that our differences are ultimately superficial compared to the deeper unity that binds us.
And that's a message that's so relevant in today's world, where division and conflict seem to be on the rise. Kabbalah offers a path towards healing and wholeness, reminding us that our true nature is one of love and connection.
This makes me think about the book's discussion of truth and falsehood. It seems like Kabbalah is very concerned with helping us discern truth from falsehood in a world that's full of deception and illusion.
You're right. And Kabbalah reminds us that truth is a journey, a quest that requires effort and dedication. It's not something we just stumble upon. We have to actively seek it out.
And how does Kabbalah guide us in this quest for truth?
Well, the book uses a powerful visual image to describe truth and lies. It depicts truth as standing on 2 feet, stable and grounded, while lies have only 1 foot, making them inherently unstable.
It's like truth is a solid foundation, while lies are built on shifting sand.
Exactly. And that's why discerning truth from falsehood is so important. It's about building our lives on a solid foundation, one that can withstand the storms of life.
This makes me think about how we navigate the world today, with so much information coming at us from all directions. It's more important than ever to develop our ability to discern truth from falsehood.
Absolutely. And Kabbalah offers tools and perspectives that can help us in this quest. It encourages us to question our assumptions, to look beyond the surface, and to seek wisdom from sources that have stood the test of time.
It's like developing a spiritual compass that can guide us through the complexities of life.
And that's a great analogy. Because Kabbalah isn't just about acquiring knowledge. It's about transforming ourselves, about becoming more aligned with the divine will.
So it's a path of spiritual growth and evolution.
Exactly. And this path involves exploring not just the heights of spiritual experience, but also the depths of human existence. Kabbalah doesn't shy away from difficult questions, like the problem of evil.
Oh, the problem of evil. That's a question that has puzzled theologians and philosophers for centuries. How does Kabbalah approach this thorny issue?
It offers some fascinating perspectives. One particularly intriguing perspective comes from the Lurianic Kabbalah, developed by Isaac Luria Ashkenazi in the 16th century.
Okay, tell me more about the Lurianic Kabbalah. How does it explain the existence of evil in a world created by a good God?
It suggests that evil arose from a necessary breaking of the vessels during the process of creation.
Breaking of the vessels, what does that even mean?
It's a complex concept, but the basic idea is that during the process of creation, divine light was poured into vessels that were not yet strong enough to contain it. As a result, these vessels shattered, scattering divine sparks throughout the world.
So evil is like these shattered pieces, these fragments of divine light that have become distorted or lost.
That's one way to understand it. And our task as humans becomes to help gather these scattered sparks, to restore wholeness and bring light back into the world.
It's a powerful metaphor that reframes the problem of evil and imbues it with a sense of purpose. Instead of simply enduring evil, we're called to actively participate in its healing.
Exactly. It's a call to action, a reminder that we have a role to play in the ongoing drama of creation.
Okay, I think we're going to have to pause here for now. My mind is already swirling with all these incredible ideas, and I need some time to process it all.
I understand. We've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive, but there's so much more to explore.
Yes, I can't wait to continue this journey into the world of Kabbalah. Okay, I'm ready to jump back into this fascinating world of Kabbalah. I think we left off talking about the Lurianic Kabbalah and its unique perspective on the origin of evil.
Yeah, that idea of the breaking of the vessels during creation is a really thought-provoking concept. It suggests that evil isn't something that's inherent in the world. It's more like a consequence of the limitations of the vessels. The ones that were meant to contain the divine light.
So it's like those vessels weren't quite ready for all that fullness of divine energy. And when they shattered, it scattered those sparks of divine light throughout creation.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's where our role as humans comes in. We have this responsibility to gather those scattered sparks to help restore wholeness to the world.
It's like we're on a mission to piece together a broken cosmic puzzle, bring those fragments of divine light back into their rightful place.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And it connects back to the concept of tikkun olam. We discussed it earlier, remember? The idea of repairing the world. It's about recognizing that we're not just passive observers in the universe. We have an active role to play in bringing about healing and wholeness.
This is making me think about the book's discussion of the Torah, how it's not just a historical text, but like a living dialogue, a bridge between the earthly and the divine.
That's a perfect segue, because the Lurianic Kabbalah offers a unique perspective on how we can read and interpret the Torah.
Okay, I'm all ears. How does the Lurianic Kabbalah approach the Torah?
It suggests that the Torah itself is like a shattered vessel, that its meaning has been fragmented and scattered throughout history.
So it's not just about reading the Torah literally.
Not at all.
Yeah.
It's about seeing beyond the surface level of the text, uncovering those hidden connections and deeper meanings that have been obscured by the passage of time.
It's like we have to piece together the fragments of the Torah, just as we have to piece together the fragments of divine light that were scattered during creation.
That's a great insight. And this process of piecing together the Torah requires us to engage with it on multiple levels, to use both peshat and drash, those two interpretive approaches we talked about earlier, remember?
Right. Peshat, the literal interpretation, and drash, the allegorical interpretation. It seems like both are essential for a comprehensive understanding.
Absolutely. And the Lurianic Kabbalah adds another layer to this by suggesting that every word, every letter in the Torah contains a spark of divine light.
So even the act of reading the Torah can be seen as a way of gathering those scattered sparks.
Exactly. And that's where the mystical power of letters comes into play. Remember, we talked about how Kabbalists see the Hebrew alphabet as infused with divine energy.
Yes. It's like each letter is a building block of creation, a vibration that resonates with the essence of the universe.
And when we read the Torah, we're not just engaging with words on a page, we're engaging with those divine sparks, those building blocks of creation.
That's pretty mind-blowing. So it's not just about understanding the meaning of the words, it's about feeling their power, their resonance.
Exactly. And this brings us back to the practice of gematria. We talked about it earlier.
Right, gematria, the practice of assigning numerical values to letters and using those numbers to uncover hidden connections and meanings.
Gematria is a key tool for unlocking the deeper mysteries of the Torah. It allows us to see beyond the surface level of the text, to the underlying patterns and relationships that connect different words and concepts.
Can you give me an example of how gematria is used in the Lurianic Kabbalah?
Well, one of the central concepts in Lurianic Kabbalah is the idea of tzimtzum, which literally means contraction.
Contraction, what does that refer to?
It refers to the idea that God had to contract or limit the divine light in order to create space for the universe. In other words, the infinite had to make room for the finite.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this is all connected. The breaking of the vessels is a result of those limitations, and our task is to help repair those broken vessels and gather the scattered sparks of divine light.
You're getting it. And gematria is used to explore the deeper meanings of this process of tzimtzum and the subsequent breaking of the vessels.
Can you give me a specific example of how gematria is used to understand tzimtzum?
Well, the Hebrew word for tzimtzum has a numerical value of 296, which is the same numerical value as the Hebrew word for Adam.
Wait, Adam as in the first human being.
Exactly. And this numerical connection suggests a profound link between the creation of humanity and the process of tzimtzum. It implies that humanity has a special role to play in repairing the brokenness. That resulted from the breaking of the vessels.
So we're not just bystanders in this cosmic drama, we're active participants in the process of healing and restoration.
That's the heart of the Lurianic Kabbalah. It's about recognizing that we have the potential to bring those scattered sparks of divine light back together, to help repair the brokenness of the world and restore it to its original wholeness.
It's a powerful and inspiring message, especially in a world that often feels so fragmented and broken.
And it connects back to that idea that we are a bridge between heaven and earth, that we have the capacity to bring the divine into the world through our actions and our choices.
This is making me think about the book's discussion of the two prominent rabbis, Akiva and Ishmael. They represent contrasting approaches to interpreting the Torah. It seems like the Lurianic Kabbalah would resonate more with Rabbi Akiva's emphasis on the symbolic and hidden meanings of the Torah.
You're right. Akiva's approach, with its focus on drash and the deeper allegorical meanings of the Torah, is definitely more aligned with the Lurianic Kabbalah.
So it's about seeing the Torah as more than just a set of rules or historical accounts.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that the Torah is a multi-layered text. It contains hidden depths and mysteries that require us to engage with it on a symbolic and metaphorical level.
This reminds me of the book's description of the Torah as an open work, a text that's constantly revealing new layers of meaning to each generation that encounters it.
That's a great point. And the Lurianic Kabbalah encourages us to approach the Torah with a sense of openness and wonder, to see it as a living document that speaks to us in different ways, depending on our own experiences and perspectives.
So it's not about finding the definitive interpretation. It's about engaging in an ongoing conversation with the text, allowing it to challenge us and expand our understanding.
Precisely. And this open-ended approach to the Torah is reflected in the way that the Lurianic Kabbalah views knowledge itself. It's not about acquiring a fixed set of beliefs. It's about engaging in a process of continuous learning and growth.
It sounds like a journey that never really ends.
That's right. And this journey is fueled by curiosity, by a thirst for knowledge that goes beyond the surface level of things.
This is making me think about the Baal Shem Tov, the central figure in the history of Kabbalah, who realized that the Torah is entera, meaning buried or hidden. He saw the Torah as a vast and uncharted territory, full of hidden depths and treasures waiting to be discovered.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And the Lurianic Kabbalah encourages us to approach the Torah with that same sense of wonder and exploration, to see it as a source of endless insight and inspiration.
It's like an invitation to embark on a lifelong adventure of spiritual discovery.
And that adventure involves not just reading and studying, but also living out the teachings of the Torah in our daily lives. It's about embodying those principles of love, compassion, and justice that we discussed earlier.
So it's about bridging the gap between theory and practice, between the mystical and the mundane.
Exactly. And that's where the concept of dot comes into play, that Hebrew word for religion. That emphasizes the importance of action and conduct.
Right. That is about aligning our actions with our beliefs, about bringing those spiritual principles into our everyday lives.
And this is where the Lurianic Kabbalah offers a unique perspective. It suggests that our actions have a cosmic significance, that they contribute to the process of tikkun olam, of repairing the world.
So it's not just about being a good person. It's about understanding that our actions have a ripple effect, that they can contribute to the healing and restoration of the universe.
That's a great way to put it. It's about recognizing that we're not just isolated individuals. We're part of a larger web of interconnectedness, and our actions can have a profound impact on that web.
It's a powerful reminder that we have a responsibility to act in ways that are aligned with the divine will, to strive to bring more light and goodness into the world.
And this brings us back to the messianic concept in Kabbalah, the idea that we're not just passively waiting for a savior to come and fix everything. We're actively participating in the process of creating a more just and harmonious world.
So we're all potential messiahs in a sense.
You could say that. And this connects to the mystical power of letters, that idea that each letter in the Hebrew alphabet is a vessel of divine energy.
Right. It's like the Hebrew alphabet itself is a blueprint for creation. And when we engage with those letters, we're tapping into that creative power.
Exactly. And this brings us to another fascinating concept in the Lurianic Kabbalah, the idea of Kavanah.
Kavanah. I don't think I've heard that term before. What does Kavanah mean?
Kavanah is often translated as intention or mindfulness. It refers to the idea that our actions are more powerful when they are infused with conscious intention, when we are fully present and aware of the deeper meaning behind what we are doing.
So it's not just about going through the motions. It's about bringing our full attention and awareness to every action, every word, every thought.
Precisely. And this applies not just to our everyday actions, but also to our spiritual practices.
Can you give me an example of how Kavanah is applied in spiritual practice?
Well, in Jewish tradition, prayer is seen as a powerful way to connect with the divine. But the Lurianic Kabbalah suggests that our prayers are more effective when they are infused with Kavanah, when we're not just reciting words, but truly focusing our attention and intention on the meaning behind those words.
So it's about being present in the moment, about engaging both the mind and the heart in prayer.
That's right. And this idea of Kavanah extends to other spiritual practices as well, such as meditation, study, and even the act of reading the Torah.
It's like a reminder to be fully present in every aspect of our lives, to bring that awareness and intention to everything we do.
And this leads to a deeper understanding of the interconnectedness of everything, that idea that our actions have a ripple effect that extends outwards, affecting not just ourselves, but the world around us.
This is making me think about the book's discussion of love as a unifying force, the idea that love is the glue that binds the universe together.
That's a beautiful connection. Because love is the ultimate expression of Kavanah. It's about focusing our attention and intention on the well-being of others, about acting with compassion and empathy.
So love is more than just an emotion. It's a way of being, a way of relating to the world.
Exactly. And this is where the Lurianic Kabbalah offers a unique perspective. It suggests that love is not just something we feel towards other people. It's a cosmic force that permeates all of creation.
So it's like love is the energy that animates the universe, the force that drives the process of healing and restoration.
That's a great way to put it. And this cosmic love is something that we can tap into through our own actions, through our choices to act with kindness, compassion, and generosity.
It's a reminder that we have the power to make a difference, to be agents of love and healing in the world.
And that brings us back to the concept of tikkun olam, that idea of repairing the world. By acting with love, we're contributing to the process of healing and restoration, not just on a personal level, but on a cosmic level as well.
This is giving me a whole new perspective on the meaning of love. It's not just about romantic relationships or feeling good. It's about our connection to something much bigger than ourselves, to the very fabric of creation.
And this understanding of love is central to the Lurianic Kabbalah. It's about recognizing that love is the ultimate force for healing and transformation, both in our own lives and in the world around us.
It's a message that's so relevant in a world that often feels so divided and fractured.
Absolutely. And that's why I find the Lurianic Kabbalah so inspiring. It offers a path towards wholeness and healing, a way to connect with the deeper meaning and purpose of our lives.
Okay, I think we need to pause here for a moment. My mind is once again overflowing with all these incredible ideas.
I understand. We've covered a lot of ground in this second part of our deep dive, but there's still more to explore.
I can't wait to see where this journey takes us next. Okay, we're back for like the final part of our deep dive into the world of Kabbalah. I'm feeling like a mix of awe and excitement after like everything we've already covered.
Yeah, it has been quite a journey. Yeah. And we've only just begun to scratch the surface of this really rich and complex tradition.
One thing that just keeps coming back to me is this idea of Kavana, the intention or mindfulness that we bring to like our actions and spiritual practices. It seems like a key that unlocks the deeper dimensions of Kabbalah.
You're absolutely right. Kavana is central to understanding how Kabbalah bridges the gap between the mystical and the practical. It's about bringing our full presence and awareness to everything we do, recognizing that even the most mundane actions can have a spiritual significance.
So it's not just about what we do, but how we do it, the intention and energy that we infuse into our actions.
Exactly. And this applies not just to our outward actions, but also to our inner world, our thoughts and emotions. Kabbalah teaches that our inner state has a profound impact on the world around us.
So it's like our thoughts and emotions are also actions, creating ripples that extend outwards.
That's a great way to put it. And this brings us to another fascinating concept in the Lurianic Kabbalah, the idea of tikkun hanefesh, which literally means repair of the soul.
Repair of the soul. That sounds intriguing. How does that fit into the overall framework of Kabbalah?
Remember how we talked about tikkun olam, the idea of repairing the world?
Yeah. The idea that we have a responsibility to participate in the healing and restoration of the universe?
Exactly. Well, tikkun hanefesh is the inner dimension of tikkun olam. It's about recognizing that the healing of the world starts with the healing of ourselves, with the work that we do to cultivate inner peace, harmony, and wholeness.
So it's like an inside-out approach to transformation. We start by working on ourselves, by addressing those inner conflicts and imbalances, and that inner work ripples outwards, contributing to the healing of the world around us.
That's a beautiful way to describe it. And this connects back to the idea that we are a microcosm of the macrocosm, that the same patterns and principles that govern the universe are also at play within us.
So by healing ourselves, we're also contributing to the healing of the cosmos.
Exactly. And that's why tikkun hanefesh is such a vital aspect of Kabbalah. It's about recognizing that we're not just separate individuals. We're intimately connected to the web of life. And our inner state has a profound impact on that web.
This is making me think about the book's discussion of truth and falsehood, and the importance of discerning truth from illusion. It seems like tikkun hanefesh would also involve a process of uncovering and releasing those false beliefs and limiting patterns that hold us back from experiencing our true nature.
You're spot on. Tikkun hanefesh is a process of purification, of refining our inner world, and aligning ourselves with the divine will.
And how does one go about this process of tikkun hanefesh? Are there specific practices or techniques that Kabbalah recommends?
Well, the book doesn't go into a great detail about specific practices, but it hints at the importance of introspection, self-awareness, and engaging in practices that help us cultivate inner peace and harmony.
So it's about being mindful of our thoughts and emotions, about identifying those patterns and beliefs that are no longer serving us.
That's a key part of it. And Kabbalah also emphasizes the importance of connecting with the divine, of seeking guidance and support from a higher power.
This reminds me of the book's discussion of the many names of God, and how each name represents a different aspect of the divine nature.
Yes. And this idea that God has many names reflects the understanding that the divine is beyond our limited human comprehension. We can't box God into a single definition or name.
So it's about expanding our understanding of God, recognizing the multifaceted nature of the divine.
Precisely. And each name offers a unique perspective on the divine, a different way of connecting with the source of all creation.
This is making me think of that passage from the Talmud where God says to Moses, "When I judge creatures, I am called Elohim. When I wage war against the wicked, I am called Sevaot. When I wait for man to repent of his sins, I am called Shaddai. But when I have mercy on my world, I take the name of my actions and am called the Merciful One."
It's such a powerful passage. It highlights the dynamic nature of our relationship with the divine. God is not a static or distant being. God responds to us, adapting to our needs and choices.
And this brings us back to the idea of Kavanah, the intention that we bring to our actions and prayers. If we approach God with humility, sincerity, and a desire to connect, that intention influences how we experience the divine.
That's a beautiful insight. It's like our intention creates a channel through which divine energy can flow into our lives.
This is making me think about how Kabbalah approaches the concept of the Messiah. It's not about passively waiting for a savior to come and fix everything. It's about recognizing that we each have a role to play in bringing about a more just and harmonious world.
Exactly. And this connects to the idea of tikkun olam and tikkun hanefesh, the repair of the world and the repair of the soul. By working on ourselves, by cultivating inner peace and wholeness, and by acting with compassion and justice in the world, we're contributing to the creation of a messianic age.
So we're all potential messiahs in a sense.
You could say that. And this connects to the mystical power of letters, that idea that each letter in the Hebrew alphabet is a vessel of divine energy.
Right. It's like the Hebrew alphabet itself is a blueprint for creation. And when we engage with those letters, we're tapping into that creative power.
Exactly. And this brings us to another fascinating concept in the Lurianic Kabbalah, the idea of Gilgul, which literally means cycle or revolution.
Gilgul. I'm not familiar with that term. What does it refer to?
It refers to the concept of reincarnation, the idea that souls can be reborn into different bodies and lifetimes in order to learn and evolve.
So it's about a continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth.
That's the basic idea. And Lurianic Kabbalah suggests that the purpose of this cycle is to give souls the opportunity to gather those scattered sparks of divine light that were dispersed during the breaking of the vessels.
So each lifetime is like a chance to collect more of those sparks and contribute to the process of tikkun olam.
Exactly. And this concept of Gilgul adds a whole new dimension to our understanding of life and death. It suggests that death is not the end, but a transition to a new phase of our journey, a chance to continue our work of healing and restoration.
It's a very hopeful and comforting perspective, especially in the face of loss and grief.
It is, and it reminds us that we're part of something much bigger than ourselves, that our lives have a cosmic significance that extends beyond the boundaries of time and space.
This is making me think about the book's emphasis on the importance of connecting with our true nature, that divine spark that resides within each of us.
That's a great connection, because Tikkun Hanefesh, the repair of the soul, is ultimately about uncovering and expressing that divine spark, about lining ourselves with our highest potential.
So it's about remembering who we truly are, those beings of light and love that were created in the image of God.
Beautifully said. And this process of remembering and reclaiming our true nature is a journey that requires courage, compassion, and a willingness to face our shadows, those aspects of ourselves that we may have hidden or suppressed.
This reminds me of the book's discussion of truth and falsehood, and how discerning truth requires us to look beyond the surface, to challenge our assumptions, and to be willing to see things in a new light.
You're right. Tikkun Hanefesh is about shedding those layers of illusion and falsehood that prevent us from seeing ourselves and the world clearly. It's about uncovering our authentic selves, the beings of light and love that we were created to be.
It's like a process of peeling away the layers of an onion, revealing the radiant core that lies beneath.
That's a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
And this process of uncovering our true nature is not just about personal transformation. It's about contributing to the transformation of the world.
So, as we heal ourselves, we also heal the world.
Exactly. And this brings us full circle to the concept of tikkun olam, the repair of the world. By engaging in tikkun hanefesh, by doing the inner work of healing and transformation, we're creating a ripple effect that extends outwards, contributing to the healing and wholeness of the entire universe.
This is such a powerful and inspiring message. It gives me hope that even in the face of so much darkness and suffering, we have the power to make a difference, to be agents of light and love in the world.
And that's the essence of Kabbalah. It's a path of hope, of transformation, and of awakening to the interconnectedness of all things. It reminds us that we're not just isolated individuals, but part of a vast and interconnected web of life, and that our actions, our choices, and even our thoughts have the power to shape the destiny of the universe.
Wow, that's a lot to take in, but I have to say I feel incredibly inspired by all that we've explored in this deep dive into the world of Kabbalah. I think a whole new way of seeing the world has opened up for me.
I'm so glad to hear that. And I encourage you to continue exploring this path, to delve deeper into the mysteries of Kabbalah, and see where it leads you.
I definitely will. And to you, dear listener, we say, don't stop here. Continue this journey of discovery. Delve deeper into the mysteries of Kabbalah and see where it leads you. You might be surprised by what you uncover about yourself and the world around you.
Remember, the wisdom of Kabbalah is not just for scholars or mystics. It's for everyone. It's an invitation to awaken to the divine spark within and to live a more meaningful and fulfilling life.
And as a final thought to ponder, imagine the world as a giant puzzle, and the Torah as a set of clues. Kabbalah gives you the tools to start piecing it all together, revealing the hidden patterns and connections I might have been invisible before. Happy exploring.
And may your journey be filled with wonder, insight, and the transformative power of ancient wisdom.